The lonely little polar bear. Once upon a time, there lived a polar bear named Fluffy. He lived in the vast open Arctic. It was time for dinner, and Fluffy's tummy started making noises. He went down to the edge of the ice to catch some seals. Fluffy loved to eat seals. With a deep breath, he jumped into the water. But to his dismay, there were no seals, and he could only see one little fish. Every year, the earth was getting warmer. The more ice that melted, the harder it was for Fluffy to find food. He knew there weren't any seals left and had to eat fish instead. He knew that fishes were very hard to catch, since they could swim very, very fast. One day, he was sitting on an ice float, alone in the sea. He was very sad, as there was nothing to eat. He thought of all the other bears, whales, and seals. Well, if he were hungry, then they would be too. Tired from hunting, Fluffy was fast asleep. In his dream, he dreamt that there were a lot of fishes to eat, and suddenly realized that everything was connected. Without ice, there weren't any algae under the sea. No algae meant no fish. Without fish, the seals had nothing to eat. And well, that meant Fluffy would have no food to eat too. But then there was another problem. Since the ice was melting, ships could come and drill for oil too. When the boats and drills came, animals wanted to leave. It was dirty, noisy, and sat on top of their homes. They would have to find someplace else to go. Bedtime was over, and it was time to try something new. Fluffy saw a bunch of fishes jump and dive in happiness. They must be finding fish. He thought, maybe there is food for me too. Fluffy smiled as he went down the hill. He jumped in the water and met a seal. "Hello," said the seal as he held his breath. "My name is Tuglo." Fluffy said, "Have you found any fishes yet? I am very, very hungry." "No, my friend, but I have a friend who might help us." Duglo took Fluffy and introduced him to his friend, Anna. Fluffy, meet Anna. She lives in the village close by, said Duglo. Fluffy was rubbing his belly. The little girl knew he must be hungry. She realized how ice melting was affecting the animals too. It was time to find a solution. She went to her grandma and said, "Grandma, the bears are hungry and the seals are too. There isn't enough food for them. What can we do?" Don't worry, Anna. I have got an idea. I know how can we help. We can use less oil and save energy by carpooling and heating our homes less. In this way, we will use less oil. Great idea, Grandma, said Anna. If we rely on energy, what if we get to leave the oil ships forever? We can use winds, solar, biomass, and water energy instead of oil. You know, friends, they are all renewable forms of energy, which means energy will never ever run out. Our beautiful earth will cool up fast, and maybe it can help the Arctic stay cooler and give us all the more time to adapt. Yes, absolutely correct, Anna. Did you know that the plastic that we use every day also ends up in the oceans? The plastic that we put in the bin ends up in a landfill. And when the rubbish is transported to the landfill, plastic is often blown away because it is very light in weight. From there, it can eventually clutter around drains and enter rivers and sea, harming our very precious sea animals. Grandma, what if we don't throw the plastic in the bin at all and recycle it instead? That way, we will be able to reuse it in a better way and reduce its usage as well by finding better alternatives. Well, great thought, Anna. Let us promise ourselves to be more responsible towards our environment and save it before it ends, said Grandma. Many years had passed and people changed. They were conserving energy every day and reducing, reusing, and recycling plastic. The people were happier, and our very precious earth began to heal. Fluffy, Duglo, and all the Arctic animals had plenty to eat and never ever remained hungry.